welcome to episode 2 of UKVersus. This is
Hello, everyone.
this is our lovely little podcast where we're gonna go over MHA related news, current meta breakdowns, set 5 reveals, and basically just give our opinions on on the current state of the game and how we've been playing. How are you today, Richard?
Yeah, I'm all good. I mean, it's a Tuesday. It's a normal work week, but yeah. Obviously today we had some big spoilers from UKVersus Academy that I think basically everyone's been talking about and thinking about all day. So looking forward to sort of getting to chat a bit more about those.
I mean, Chris Smith has been teasing and tormenting the main Discord about Rappa for a good couple of days now.
Yes. He's been teasing all of us, but yeah, it's all pretty much worth it. Like, I think as soon as he came out 5 minutes afterwards, everyone had like 5 decks built for him.
He's just so viable on every single symbol. I've got him up on the stream now.
Okay, well then let's jump straight in and just start chatting about him.
Yeah, let's go straight to 6-hander for 28 health as is standard. Evil Fire Order. First response, destroy a foundation after you make a check to play or block with an attack. That check gets +2. Seems decent on itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's release on defense, right? At the very minimum, you're getting a release out of it for when you're blocking with attacks, which is what you usually do. And like, release has been a staple card in a lot of decks, so like just having that on face is really good.
It's also release on symbols that have been kind of asking for more defensive capabilities. Fire has got ice gliding.
Yeah.
But these are very offensive symbols. They're very proactive. They're not very reactive symbols, so that's really good to see.
Yeah, and obviously the check hacking on offense is going to be really good.
Oh,
like, you know, I think we've seen that before with things like Tokiyami and Jiro and what have you. Like, anytime you're adding to your checks to help you string harder, it's always been good. It's so like, yeah. I mean, obviously there's a real cost to it, but you know, when you're killing them that turn after playing your 4th, 5th, 6th attack, destroying one of your committed foundations isn't really that big a deal. And obviously, as we'll see later, sometimes he's got his own reasons for making his checks even worse.
It's not just that; it's also it's deadlock play round on face.
Yes, yeah, because that's always one of those things you want to put in your deck, right? You always want to have some sort of lock breaker, some people call it, of just sort of keeping yourself at a deadlock. So, you know, I always find I want to put like a frozen or a feeling cue or, you know, something on those lines in your deck, just so you've got those options, and just having it on face and therefore never having to worry about forcing those cards in your deck is always good.
Yeah, and second ability, once per turn, discard one card from your discard one card. After your non-throw punch attack deals damage, you may play it from your card pool as your next form. So you do need to make the check. That's just to get clear.
Yeah,
and it doesn't stop the flipping from echo, so you can't go play the attack, echo the attack, rapid the attack, because that's what we'll see is quite important sequencing later on. But fitting with the theme of playing attacks from different zones, this seems like a really decent ability.
Yeah, it very much is. Sorry, boys, just going to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just sort of getting once per turn echo something and not really echo it for effectively free, like you know, discarding a foundation from your hand isn't too much of a cost. Just to double up on an attack, and it just puts your opponent in a bind. Do they want to spend their resources blocking something, or do they want to take 4 or 5 from an attack and then have it coming straight back at them? Like, it's the Chaka 2 thing, right, where you sort of feel like you have to block everything or else it's just coming back at you.
Yeah, it's one of those things that what am I least worried about getting played again? It's an ability that I play. It's a very powerful ability because I played a similar ability at the RLE on Mina 1. It's the ability most people are excited for with Kurigiri 2. Just the ability to go get an attack from your deck. It's got a lot more restrictions on it, being a non-throw, non-punch, and it has to deal damage. but it's very on brand for the character in the show as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely use this card, and it's been immediately well received as part from the community, with people just going, yeah, funny punches on order.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is sort of keyword locked to an extent. Like, obviously you want certainly the majority of your attacks to be punches, but that doesn't mean everything has to be. So,
Yeah.
like, for example, if you're playing on order, you're probably playing jolts, right? They're not punches, but you don't care because it's still jolt. Like, on fire, one stupid thing you can do is you can play Howitzer Impact without the Cyclone on a 2. Because it's got the static that takes it to a 4, and then as long as you're destroying something to make the check, it's effective on a 2, which is sort of ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
because you have to destroy the foundations. The first ability alone, like you're saying, is powerful enough. The second ability is just gravy. But we might see a rise in confused plays again. Because because it doesn't say printed, it just says this punch. So if you can confuse it, take away the keyword punch, you go, okay, I'll take it, and then they can't respond.
Yeah, you can confuse the punch away, right? Like,
yeah,
there's no reason why you can't do that.
I love confused. It was a card that seemed to get a lot of hype out of set 2, and has kind of been forgotten as a very good way to deal with stuff like this.
Yeah,
but yeah, we definitely. I'm sure we'll see some very spicy tech for going up against this, because I know confused is a sideboard card for most people running those symbols.
Yeah, he's 6 hand size, but sort of gets to get around that a bit by always having an extra attack in hand, really. All 3 of us, so it's nice to have a punch character that isn't sort of, okay, I'll play all the good punches the end. Each of the symbols has a reasonable amount of punches, and obviously they get more, and we'll have a look at his kit in a second. But yeah, there's already good options. So like Fire gets Bert and Ernie. Evil gets all the Nomu punches, so you can do like Relentless Barrage and Gale Force Punch type things, and Merciless Rush. Order obviously has Funny Punch, and one of my favorite punches is actually Cat Punch. Like,
you get
solid
Cat Punch
2/6. Block it, I draw a card, don't block it, you take 6, and then 6 coming straight back at you. And I'll even commit the foundation, give it speed, and then I'll blow up the foundation for +2 check. Cat Punch feels like it's going to be like really good in that order build, and it's also a mid, so work with.
Cat Punch stock's definitely right, but you also get access to all of Deku's starter kit from set 1. So you get Future Charge, you get Heroic Strike, you get Setup Strike, you get 5%.
Yeah.
You get everything that Deku had in that first kit, and they're all punches, and they've got a lot of his foundations as well. Work around giving punches more speed, more damage using momentum, and if you are running low on cards because you're discarding them, you then also still have access to passing the torch and all these really powerful cards.
Yeah, and if you're playing an order, you can still just play a couple of 1.3 millions, right? And because he gets that check hacking, you can sort of do that Tokoyami impression of, and you can do it like Heroic Strike, check hack, 1.3 million because you're tapped out, do it for, that sort of play 1.3 million as your kill at the end of a string. So I think he's got a lot of schmooves. It's just that obviously one thing he doesn't do is put stats on, right? There's no plus stats on any of that stuff. So that's what you got to find in his kit. It's how you give stuff speed, how you give stuff damage.
I complained about this in the group chat that we have about it not sharing double jab pummel symbols. My main reason for that was it doesn't have training with gunhead symbols, which seems like it'd be really good pairing up with this, where the check to place attack was enhanced by your character, so all your attacks just get +1 speed. That seems like it would be a really good thing just to tack on there.
Yeah, I mean, training gunhead's decent enough, but you're not necessarily doing that check hack all the time. Like, you're not doing it on every attack. It's like, I feel like this is a character that wants to sort of build on turn 1, maybe poke on turn 2, whether that's with a jolt or whatever. and then you're going for the kill on turn 3 or turn 4, where you've built up to sort of 7, 8, 9 foundations, and you've got those resources where you can happily blow up 3 or 4 in a turn, so you can string 4, 5, 6 along. Like, you just need to draw those cards, and then you've got order and fire gets calling for backup.
Honestly,
fire
I
gets sugar rush.
I was thinking of this.
Win.
Fire does get go for the win as well. I was looking at this on fire, and my head was just like, you play Muscle Rush, which always deals 1 damage. You play a lot of poke attacks. You build your sculpt, and you just use his ability and call student, and you never have to commit a damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of want to an extent, right?
Yeah.
You like his destroy 1 foundation. You never really want to be destroying a ready resource with it, right? Unless you have to, because that's effectively just like a +1 to a check. Because I don't think you can commit let's say you need to check a 7 and you check a 3. I don't think how the way the timings work is that you commit it to add +1 and then blow it up for +2. So you always want to be blowing up your committed foundation. But
yeah, that's kind of like later on down the line you can still fail foundations, but say you're 4 cards into your string, have the ability to destroy foundation, and have the ability to remove a momentum to get +2 to your next check, and then getting an additional +2 if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems really powerful.
Yeah.
We don't know what else is coming because we're only 42 cards into the set. That means there's still another 80 cards to come, not including the 6 secret rares.
Yeah.
But let's move on to is
ultra rare attack? Is that the first one you got?
I don't. Why is it not showing me this card? What has it done to me? Oh.
Yeah, well,
okay, there we go.
There's a lot of potential with this guy.
So my order is a little bit more randomized because it's done it off what OBS has done. So it's starting off with his common foundation, seasoned brawler.
Okay, so that's a 1 difficulty 5 check with a 2 high block.
2 high block, yeah.
Response flip after your rival blocks the attack, draw a card, pay while committed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
nice.
Yeah. Like you're saying, on fire, I can. Hard and Barrage is a card that I've advocated for a while, but everyone goes, it's the worst out of the 2. But having the ability, if you can get damage, to unflip that seems really good. On a half block, you get to go. Okay, cool. I dealt damage. I'll flip this on the block, draw a card, unflip it on the damage with Hard and Barrage.
I mean, even just without any sort of combos around it, right? It's got 2 of the sets of magic words, right? It says draw 1 card, and it says
playable while committed. Yeah.
So it's like I'll play my attack. You block with an attack, sure. I'll flip. You play your 5. You check a 3. You commit this down. They block. Okay. Flip this. Draw a card. Blow it up for +2 and check on next thing, and it's kind of working with what he's doing, and it's just like nice spam. It doesn't seem to do anything crazy powerful,
no.
But they're all like I can see this getting a fair amount of play. Like ultimately, what's the card? I mentioned it literally 2 seconds ago. Blah, 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 blah. The Eda card's a flip draw card.
Oh yeah, call for backup.
Yes, yeah. Calling for backup. It's just that, right, to an extent, but it has a little bit more like restrictions, but it also has to play well committed.
Yeah,
so,
I
can easily see like Order and Fire playing 4 of this and 4 calling for backups.
Getting an attack out of my opponent's hand and drawing another card just seems like pure value to me.
Yeah, especially when he wants to string, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I've committed this down. I've hit you with. I'm attacking you with something. Do you want to block with your attack and let me draw a card, or do you want to take it and then let me replay that attack again? Like it's again, like it feels like a character in a build where you sort of want to put your opponent in like a rock and a hard place situation. Where do they block and take the damage and possibly get the attack again, or sorry, do they take the damage and then you hit them again, or do they block and possibly give you then more gas and you can then continue because you're check hacking all the way through.
That's just it. It feels like the saving back and go, it can't be fixed kind of foundation of, if I've got an ice storm in my hand and you're attacking with mid, it's a case of, do I burn a foundation and let you keep stringing, or do I let you draw a card and go for that breaker 2, not knowing if you can even carry on your string? It adds more thinking onto how your opponent needs to block this.
Yeah, it's just a really nice spam. It's got a decent enough block. Yeah, I can happily see playing anywhere from like 2 to 4 copies. Not even just on him, right? It's just a good effect, just on those symbols.
Yeah, it's a strong effect, so simple. Looking for a challenge. 2/5 +3 high block. After this card is committed due to your rival's effect, your next check gets +3 playable while committed.
Nice.
Yeah. Anti-stun, anti-engine trouble, anti-jolt. But he's never getting targeted with jolt anyway. And then commit flip. Your next check to play or block with an attack gets +2. Yeah, nice. just an all-round solid card.
Again, I could see this easily being like a 1 to 3 of it's like, because it's a 2 diff. Usually, there's a lot of sort of competition for that slot. But stun hate, just to help with the blocking, and the enhanced commit flip. Yeah, sure, it is technically only +1 to the check, right? But that's then obviously then giving you a resource you then don't mind to then pitch away for his +2, right?
I also think this card kills 4th kind, because it's your next check. So if your rival's on 4th kind, they go jolt. You've got more than 6 to go. Okay, commit 4. You go, cool. My next check gets +3. You wait till their 4th card, and you go, okay, cool. I'll block it, because my check's got +3 to it, plus whatever else you put on it.
Yeah, and also then you commit it. You give it +3, and then you can blow this up for another +2, right?
Yeah, so you're getting +5.
Yeah. So again, obviously there's a lot of offense built into the way this character's built, but this gives him a nice amount of defense.
I guess this is like one of the one characters where you're not strictly going to be sticking to the 1/3 rule. You might want to go a little bit higher, because it's all about when you check or block with attacks.
Yes and no.
I could easily see going for.
You've got the check hacking, but you don't really want to check them, right? You don't want to blow up those resources if you don't have to. So I think you just want the draw / filtering, right?
Yeah.
So I think you want things like latent skill, calling for backup, that new foundation, just so you've got that extra gas. So I think you still play a normal kind of ratio in the deck, to be honest.
That's
usually, like, when you're blocking, that's what you're holding, right? You're holding attacks to block with anyway. That's like standard. So I wouldn't necessarily play much differently.
Kind of depends on how you draw, but I can see that. But I wouldn't like if I saw someone playing 25 attacks, 35 foundations. You might chastise them a little bit if they were playing, say, Ochako 3. But if they're playing Rappa, it's like, yeah, I can understand your logic behind it. You want to see the attacks for both offensive and defensive, but you also
need to build for that thing. So no, I think you just play a normal ratio. Like, you're not going to be like Tokiyami levels of aggression here. So, he's not going to be this crazy aggressive character. He's going to be this guy that can be really threatening on every turn, but doesn't necessarily always have that gas to do it. And you're always putting your opponent in a position of, well, do they? And then by the time it gets to like turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, is that they probably do have that gas, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, you want a few turns of building.
A normal 1/3. I don't see.
Yeah, I
see a good reason to change that.
I can understand why a person would fudge it as well.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like they're going to be the. If I saw a new player doing it and they tell me, "Oh, because I want to see my attack and offensive," that makes sense. I can completely understand. It's not one of those things that I tell a new player. With Rapper, you have to strictly kind of stick to it. But uh,
What we got next up?
next up is Hot Blooded, the unique two two check two difficulty 5 check +2 low block. Low block is something that Fire's needed. Fire's quite low on low blocks.
Yeah.
Unique. It's got enhanced flip if your rival has blocked this turn. If your rival if your rival has blocked this turn, this attack speed and damage cannot be reduced below printed. Seems odd. And then Rapper form. Once per turn, your next attack gets +1 difficulty, +2 speed, +2 damage.
So, to me, this feels like a Rapper only card, right? That top enhance is nice-ish. Like it stops things like spooky, encouraging training partner, that sort of thing. But it doesn't feel like impactful enough on a flip, on a unique, on a 2-diff to then not being able to use that bottom form. The bottom form, I think, is very good, especially like in Rapper. Like, you know, you just sort of do it as my first attack. Like, I'll make my 4-diff a 5. Sure.
If the form didn't say Rapper and just said form, that is an instant Tokiyami fire card.
No, I think most people play it, to be honest. Like,
I'm saying
because it's just a freebie on all of your first attacks, right? Because you just lead with a 4 rather than a 5, and then you make it a 5, and it's +2/+2.
So you've got +3 T check with Tokiyami. You're playing a Dark Shadow Ruin on a 7. You go, cool. I'll make it an 8 because chances are I can still 3 past that, and then it's instantly coming in as a 6/7. Well, it'd be even higher. It'd be a 7/8. It's an instant Tokiyami fire card, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've had to kind of pull it back a little bit.
It's just more a part of it. I think is obviously theming, right? Like as we'll see from other cards, like he has several things that are adding to his own difficulty, which then obviously his face kind of caters for. But yeah, I think this is probably a 2-3.
Yeah, well, it's
4 in Rapper, and I don't think other things.
I don't think you go to 4 just because it's unique.
It depends, right? And that will become from sort of testing and playing with him and what your build is and stuff. But like it might be that actually this is really important to see and you want to see it every game, in which case you play it as a 4 and it's got a decent enough block. So that's fine.
It's got a decent block, and the enhance is a flip. So you go, like you said, you can always go. You play an attack, it's been blocked because, like you said, they're pretty much going to be blocking everything. You go, okay, cool. Rapper form +1 difficulty, +2/+2, and then you pass the check, and then you flip it and go, cool. Now this speed damage count, and then you can just build another Hot Blooded down because you already flipped that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's that. I think it's good. I think you only play it in Rapper, and probably 2 or 3, I guess.
Yeah, I as soon as I saw it, I absolutely loved it, and I'm liking the +1 difficulty. A lot of cards. I think this is something we haven't really seen.
I don't think we've seen it at all. Not on an offensive basis, right? I don't think you've ever been a case. There's only any other cards that are deliberately increasing your own difficulty.
I don't know about in standard, but yeah, in MHA. We haven't seen anything that's basically going, your attack gets more difficult and it gets more stats. We've seen a lot of stuff like all your checks get cheaper or your difficulty gets cheaper. But and it's a nice little thing I've been seeing. The rare attack, the one that's got quite good versatility from what I've heard people talking about, Haymaker.
Yeah, just plain old Haymaker. So it's a 5 difficult 3 check team mid block. 4 mid for 5. It's got all of the keywords, so Breaker 1, Flash, Fury, and Punch.
But can't be because that Flash can't be interacted with Midnighted. Yeah, it cannot be Midnighted.
So your response after you block this card, your rival must play an attack as their next form or discard 1 card. And then response after you play his attack, it's +1 damage for each card committed to pass its check.
Now that second response, I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
If you use the
Rappa, sort of encouraging you to play it later on in the stream.
Yeah, you can also use the.
You just really love to block with, right? Because again, quite often the thing when you break someone is they just like, okay, I'll play a foundation and I'll continue, and this says, and like discarding a card is a real kind of penalty. So just break one and say, okay, sure, you can play a foundation, but then you have to discard one of your cards. Yeah,
exactly, but
a decent enough block.
Yeah, with the Rappa form and hot blooded, if you can go even as your first attack, it rewards you. It rewards you for checking badly and forces your opponent to have to be able to block it. Because if you place as your first attack, it's minimum going to be a 4/7. If you just check an average 3, if you're running one checks, like you said, Heroic Clash could be do some work in this deck. You're committing 4. That's now a 4/9 you've got to deal with. And that's just the first attack. That's absolutely insane. But yeah, this is a card that feels like Ice Storm and Invisible Infiltration. It feels good on both attack and defense. And as Mike pointed out, it's also Shinzo support. And you do like yourself a good Shinzo.
No, he let me down. Partly I let Shinzo down by playing terribly, but sure. Yeah, because obviously the one thing this doesn't have is speed, right? It's just the 4 speed. So the moment you get to put more speed in it, it's good.
Yeah, well, the main issue is because of the flash, you can't really interact with it, whereas that's where Hot Blooded kind of comes in, because it then goes up to being a 6 mid for 7 minimum. It seems really good. But it's the fact that you go, cool, you have to play an attack, and that attack has got +1 to its difficulty, which makes it even harder for you to actually deal with me. I can see this getting played in a lot of stuff. Evil Nomu would absolutely love this card. Because although you can't get the Nomu stuff
no, you don't want to Nomu it, I don't think. But you I don't think you ever want to play Flash in Nomu. Because again, no, because he's just about stacking damage.
Bakugo 1 Fire.
Yeah, maybe.
I could definitely see Bakugo 1.
Again, it gives a nice breaker block on those symbols. Like, I think it's one of those cards that you're going to consider. I don't know if it'll see play all the time, but it's certainly something. I don't think it's ever going to necessarily be a 4 of index, but certainly like maybe a 2 or 3, something like that.
I think it's going to feel a lot like, because we haven't really seen much of the set 4 meta yet, because we're still recovering from the Hojo meta. But I think it's going to feel like a lot like when we played the League of Villains Sealed, where we saw a lot of the same attacks being put into decks. I think this is going to be absolutely great at the pre-release. And
it's orange. Most orange things are good at a pre-release.
And it's going to find its home in very select decks, such as Bakugo and possibly Deku 1 Order and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I like it. But
yeah, it's solid.
Compared to the ultra rare, though, Bullet Punches. Bullet Punches being a 4-cost, 2 check, 1 mid block. We do love a 1 mid block. Echo Punch, 2 high 4. That says this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each copy of Bullet Punches you've played this turn. So it feels a lot more along the line of Future Charge. Those guys go there. And enhance if this attack was played from anywhere other than your hand. Add 1 other punch from your card pool to your momentum. So it sets up its own echo, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, so I mean, on base stats, right? It's a minimum of 3/5 because it obviously counts itself. If it, I guess the dream is you play like a setup strike or something. Play your bullet punches. It connects. I lift it. I play it again. I give it +2/+2. I put my setup strike into my momentum. They block or don't. I don't care. I echo with that momentum I've just got. Give it +3/+3. Go to town.
the main issue is that I've just my head's just sort of clicked on. The first enhance is counterintuitive with the echo. So if you can't echo every bullet punch you do because you're just making everyone that follows it weaker.
Why?
Well, because they flip.
Sure,
Oh no, it's
but
played.
it
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's not even
Yeah, it doesn't look
cardboard.
like
It's played.
cardboard.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. There we go. I did it. So yeah, no, the echo is actually even better because if you can go setup strike, bullet punches, put the bullet punch. You then it goes from being it starts as a 3-5. You wrapper it, it becomes a 4-6. You then echo it, it becomes a 5-7. You then play the next bullet punch. You then play another uh, setup strike on a 5. Bullet punches on a 6. It comes in as a 5, a 6.
But yeah, I mean, like
8
if
up.
if you've got this magical Christmas land, they're just gonna die. And obviously they've not blocked anywhere along that route. But yeah, it feels worth the two. Definitely feels worth the two.
Yeah, it definitely feels really strong.
I
My
suppose the question is this played anywhere outside of Rapper?
No,
Possibly.
because it doesn't have Mina 2 symbols, and that annoys me. Because
Uh,
Mina 2 requires punch or range to get her effects off. You is a perfect echo character because it utilizes face down cards,
mm,
but can't use this because it's not water, chaos, or death. And
yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I don't necessarily see this being played outside of Rapper, but I might be wrong. Just because, like, I don't know. Obviously, he's got two ways of triggering that second enhance, right? So he can either off the echo itself,
yeah,
or obviously from his
uh,
response. Because that second enhance will trigger off playing off the echo, right? So for
yeah,
any other
because
character.
it's been played for the couple. You could see it in Kurigiri Evil if they've been a bit spicy.
Hmm.
Because you're always triggering that second ability with Kurigiri. But other than that, you kind of need the magical Christmas land plays to be able to play multiple in a turn because unless you've
But
got big odds,
even on face, if you're not playing it three times, it's still a three
yeah.
four, and then a four, and then a four. Sorry, a 3-5, then a 4-6.
But yeah,
On a
that's
four diff, that's pretty good. With a one block, it's just that two check, right? It's just like, can your deck do enough with this to warrant that two check?
yeah. But it's for me, it's the synergy it could have had with Mina 2, where if you played Corrosion Ashes Lunge,
Mm.
where you put it in, you then add a momentum you add a momentum face down into your card pool. You then pick up the bullet punches you've just flipped with Echo, and you get to play it again. It has
But we all
such
know that they hate me in the two. They're never going to give us support. We just need to
ah.
let that one go. Need to
I
let it go.
can't.
But
I can't. It's one of those things that whenever I see a card that interacts very well with face down cards, allows you to keep playing them. It's like this would be perfect in Mina 2 if they just gave her a smidgen of support.
no, no, you need to let it go. But yeah, really, really cool card.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good in Rapper itself, and I think could easily see in play on other characters in this similar if they're doing punchy things.
So
Um,
next attack is the common attack, Flurry of Punches. 4 cost 3 check. 4 mid 4. Going all along the lines with Fat Gum and other cards of if you have less than 10 health, or you have 10 or less health, this attack gets plus 2 damage. And 1 enhance, your next attack gets plus 2 difficulty, plus 3 speed, plus 3 damage. Seems decent.
and the X2, and
Oh,
charge
yeah.
punch and 2 high block.
Charge
Yeah,
punch, EX2.
so yeah, just like +3/+3 is a big old wonka stats, right?
Yeah.
Um, especially like you play this as your first attack, right? Whether you've got 10 no health left or not, you just play as a 4/4. And then I'm going to say my next attack gets +2/+3/+3. Are you going to block this 4/4, or are you going to let it come back in as a 6/4/7/7? Right?
Yeah.
Like it sort of works with itself.
That's the kind of thing is because if you block this, you don't know what my next attack's going to be, or you can try and stop this. You can try and stop this 7/7 that I'm checking on a 6.
Yeah. So again, it's just putting your opponent in a tough spot.
I like Rappa mainly because he gets around the 6-hander problem of I've just drawn all grey, I've drawn 1 or 2 attacks. Like as long as my attacks hit, yeah, I can double up.
Yeah. Yeah, solid. Again, I don't know if it necessarily feels good enough on face to see a huge amounts of play, but going to be solid in him, and it's cool. It's definitely cool.
If I'm playing the funny punch variant of this deck, and I've played this say I've played this on a 5, and it's passed straight out, and I've got 8 foundations up, and I'm going funny punch as my next one. I feel confident going, yeah, I'll make funny punch a 9 check for a 9/6, which was actually 9/15.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely going to be situations where this is just like obviously it adds speed, which is the big thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just adding that 3 speed, and as long as you know you're going to be able to pass that next check, whatever, probably worth it. But
Well,
just have to wait and see.
these cards are perfect in Rapper. I don't know how much play you see outside, like you were saying, because
Yeah,
it's +2 to your check. So all that really says is, destroy 1 foundation. Your next attack gets +3 speed, +3 damage.
which I think most people would do quite
Yeah,
happily.
no, that's a hell of a deal. I'll happily take that deal every single time.
But yeah, seems solid.
Yeah, no, definitely does. And as a common, that is going to be
Yeah,
absolutely flooding the sealed pools.
yeah. I mean, sealed is all about trying to just stack damage on attacks, right? Because people can't, blocking is generally terrible in sealed. So you just want to be able to stack damage. So like, yeah,
Yeah. Now, when I was playing Magic, the one thing I was told during sealed, when I was green, when I was still really green, was just be aggressive, build aggressive, play aggressive, and it's a case of the only goal in sealed is to kill your opponent before they kill you. So,
yeah.
it's not like anywhere like playing constructed. So moving on
So
to
just briefly before we go on to the next kit, so obviously that was taken from UKVersus Academy's
yes,
uh, not spoiler
preview.
reveals.
Yeah,
So obviously, if you want to watch the full video where they have a chat about it, obviously go over and see those guys on YouTube
yeah.
and check out their video. And
They
hopefully, when this goes up on YouTube, Brett will put all the links in the description.
Yeah, I can grab them all from. That's why was hounding Mike to
Yeah,
update the list, so I can just go steal his list. Because in
cool.
the UK Facebook group, we've got a organized list of each content creator. But you can also go on the main Discord and on the international Facebook group, and you can find all the links to each person here. With more to come. I don't know how many content creators are left.
I think there was 8. Someone said earlier, so yeah, we'll just have to see.
But I didn't know. I don't know how many content creators MHA has in general.
I think there was a good 16, I think, or so on the list that had it. So
So there's only going to be really 2 characters that Jasco need to spoil themselves.
I don't know if they all get characters though.
Which was Mirio and Overhaul. Oh, no. There was 4 characters spoiled by Jasco at the start, which means there's 14 left to be spoiled. So yeah, imagine some might have got some secret rares as well.
So
moving on
who's
to
the next kit we're looking at?
So we're looking at Hojo. Starting off with the 2 cards. We started with the cards that Jasco spoiled while we were asleep last night, so you may not have seen these yet.
Okay. Are we able to flip to the character first? It probably makes a bit more sense.
I can do. So let's go up to. I'm just going to move this around. Boop. So Hojo.
Mm.
This is. I'm going to have to lean in because this is tiny little text. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. You may play 1 attack from your discard pile that shares 2 more symbols with this character as your next form. Remove it after it resolves. So it's self-clearing as well. That's a first form. Enhance, if you have 10 or less health, your attack gets +1 speed, +2 damage. And destroy 1 foundation, this attack gets -2 damage. It's a 5-hander 29. All evil water.
So it's another one of these is a five-hander, but secretly is a six-hander, right?
Yeah.
Just because of that first form. I mean, Latent Skill's a card that sees a lot of play already and is obviously a very powerful effect. This is just a better Latent Skill because it's draw then discard rather than discard then draw.
See,
That's always better. Um,
I've seen people like comparing this to the power level of Deku 4, which we're coming to a bit later. But
yeah.
this more to me feels like Sato 2, which doesn't see play, which is also a very similar ability of draw 2 and then at the end of your turn discard 2.
Yes,
Which
but
is
he doesn't get like any free card. He's not up any cards in the exchange, right?
no,
He's just draw two and then discard two at the end.
but with
So if you
his
can use all those seven cards or use six out of them or whatever, then you don't have. Then you just discard down to zero. Um, so excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
but
Um,
with his kit of
oh,
British Swagger and Talented Baker and stuff like that, because Talented Baker's got the Sato response: if you play 3 attacks this turn, draw a card,
yes,
which is
but
still really
that's
good.
sort of outside of that kit. But like this is, obviously you draw two, discard two worst cards, and then or discard a card in one of your attacks, and then you get to play one of those attacks as a form, right? So that's a secret six-hander, and then you don't
No,
have to worry about like
it's not
discarding
what
that
it's
later.
not one of those cards. It's any card in your discard,
Yes,
which is
yeah.
really good.
So
But
obviously, if you need to discard one, obviously you can do.
yeah,
Again, it's pretty good. Yeah, just like draw two, discard two every turn is probably not to be underestimated. That's very powerful. Latent skill every turn, everyone will be happy with that. And obviously, like I say, looting is better than rummaging, always pretty much.
I can I can definitely see this under all. You still get the button earning attacks. You still get Talented Baker because you're guaranteed at drawing a card at the start of your turn. I mean, I'm a big Talented Baker fan, but I know a lot of people are just like, oh, one speed to all my attacks isn't the best. But it's like, yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah, destroying a foundation for -2 damage, solid. Again, like it's not exciting, but it gives you that lock breaker on face, right? You don't have to worry about having things like your feeling cutes, your frozen, and so on and so forth because you've got it on face.
I mean, so
And this is a character you're not allowed to take to less than to 10 or less. You have to kill them or leave them above that because just getting to press a button for +1/+2 on every attack is huge. So I don't think you're allowed to.
having self-sacrifice on face every single turn,
Yeah.
but better seems really good. You don't get the plus, unfortunately.
No, and that's the main use of self-sac, right, for the extra damage. But just having it on face is really good. Obviously, the bunch of the power is in that first form. Um, I'm not a huge fan of the character. Like, I think he's fine,
It's
but
yeah,
he doesn't excite me. Definitely nowhere near as like he doesn't get those juices flying anywhere near the same way as like a rapper does and stuff.
it's not
So
my playstyle, but like you're saying, once he gets below 10, the game changes, and
you're
if
just not allowed to. You just there's some things where you're just not allowed to do it. I don't think you're allowed to take him to less than 10
but
and pass the turn.
with that foundation destruction ability, that's going to mess up with your maths. If you go, okay, I can kill them this turn, but it's because I've got to take into account if he
Yeah,
-2s my every single one of my attacks. It's because once he gets to 15, you kind of need to stop attacking until you can guarantee being able to get in 20-25 damage.
yeah.
Or
And
being
obviously, there is obviously a cost to that. Sometimes it's totally worth it if it's just like, right, well, I'm going to do this, and you can stop me killing you, but you're going to have to blow up 4 foundations to do it, and therefore you've only got 3 on your turn. You're probably not going to kill me from there, sort of thing. So,
I okay. So on my list, you know that when sets come out, I make an internal list of plays I want to see. One of which hasn't happened yet, which is using a Gran Torino to block as all for one. I want to see a play in here where someone puts him to 11, builds 3, and then he cremations
mhm.
and goes to 9, and just no.
Yeah,
That That's
Or like, or what? There's other things like on evil. It's like, okay, I'll untap. I'll play my turn to dust. Lose
yeah,
2.
I'll lose 2. Boom.
Give it +1/+2. Stun 2,
uh,
etc. etc.
is
Um,
brute strength just lose 1 +1 damage?
yeah. So yeah, like again, there's stuff you could do with this guy, but doesn't get those kind of creative juices
No.
flowing. I don't think.
It,
But I think he's decent enough. I'm not convinced he's going to be necessarily competitive.
it in no
He's
way.
sort of in that Kuragiri 2. He's cool. He's a sort of fake 5-hander. Not great.
I'd take him in sealed if like my pool wasn't great.
Well, obviously in Seal, you don't get to pick anymore. It's just what's in your packs.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. So if I got my 6 characters and I had no punch support for Rapper, I didn't like my picks were my character picks weren't very synergistic. I could see taking that over there because
Yeah,
going second, you draw 2, discard 2, build 5. You get a hit a bunch. You go, okay, cool. If you take me below 10, though, I'm gonna kill you. I could I could definitely
yeah,
see taking this in sealed. I could definitely see taking this in draft, and I could definitely see siding this into a much slower game where you're up against like the life decks and the water decks that like to do small increments of damage and just slowly whittle you down while being very defensive.
yeah,
Which I could also see this playing as you've got water in here. You could just make a turtle deck playing things like Ice Slide Tackle, a Giant Ice Wall, Ice Storm, Frozen Slash, and then the moment you go below 10, you just switch that gear up and you go, cool, Frozen Slash +1/+2, my next range attack gets +2/+2. Frigid Heat Wave coming in as a 8/8.
yeah. But yeah, again, he doesn't necessarily add. He doesn't add stats on the face unless you get into like the desperation thing. So yeah, again, doesn't excite me. So yeah, we can
No.
move on to his kit.
The fact that they haven't come up with a keyword for it makes me think that desperation isn't coming back anytime soon. So moving on to the cards that were spoiled by Jasko this morning for us, in the evening for America. We've got the Zero Cost Foundation, We Became More. It's a +3 mid block, 0 cost 5 check. Flip, if this attack was played from anywhere other than your hand, it gets 2 damage.
Solid enough.
Yeah.
And obviously, this leads on to like. So I think all of the Chiha Sakai, is that how it's pronounced? Yeah. All of them have evil, right? I think.
All these cards basically synergize around evil overhaul.
And they all do something with regards to playing an attack from somewhere other than your hand.
Yes.
So like Rapper plays it as a echo effectively. Yeah. He the one Hojo plays it from his draw 2 discard 2. The other ones, which I'm sure we'll get to, they also play things from different zones. So they all can make use of each other's kits, which I think is really nice.
All under the guise of evil, and then you've got Overhaul the boss, which I could easily see slamming this into Overhaul.
Yeah, and again, just flip for +2 damage is on a 0. Yeah, is solid. Like again, it's sort of again the power level you want a 0 to be. It's a nice effect, and that's it. It doesn't do anything crazy, but again, it's just a solid 0.
It's not powerful. It's not playable while committed. It's a +3 block. It seems like a very balanced, uncommon card. Yeah, no,
yeah. Like again, if your deck's doing the thing where you're playing stuff from other than your hand, then it's something you'll consider. If you're not, you don't play it. Easy.
Going on the other side of this, we've now got the uncommon attack, Crystal Crash. It's this guy is going to give people such tongue twister vibes.
So yeah, so it's a 4 check. That's where 4 difficulty, 3 check, 1 high block. It's a 2 low for 5. It's a slam. Selkie stonks. Stun 1. It's got all evil and water. Enhance. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose 1 Wild Foundation. Abilities on that card can't be played this enhanced step. So just sort of seals it, I guess, for this attack. And then enhance, if you've played a card from anywhere other than your hand this turn, this attack gets +1 speed, +1 damage. So I assume that would count itself. So yeah, so it says a card from anywhere, so it would count itself if you've played that from another zone.
But that also means I like the wording on that because it means if you play this as your second attack, it still benefits from the first attack coming from your discard.
Yes. Yeah, so again, it makes it like a 3/6. It's an off zone, but it's very slow. It's got the stun 1. Like, if it was discard the top 3, seal a foundation, that's probably too good.
Yeah, I think that would push it to the ultra rare. So as an uncommon attack, I think it's fine.
Yeah, again, I don't necessarily think it will see a lot of play unless you really want more slams and you're desperate for a low slam or with a high block or something of those lines. But yeah,
I do think, however, I probably want this in XR. The art alone, just like if you can get if the foil patterning sort of foils the crystallization, it's going to be gorgeous.
Probably, yeah.
Whoop. Oh no, missed the button. Nope. I've got. Why is Toya there? What Toya? Why is your stuff here?
What have you done?
It's not me. It's literally
But you're the one clicking the buttons.
I'm clicking the buttons, but literally, this is the order that. Like we also have to go to random order. This is the order that OBS put them in when I put the file into them. I think it's put them into alphabetical order. No, it's not even put in alphabetical order. I have no idea.
What? Well, C and then B. Okay.
Right. We're just gonna have to go through in the order that's on here because I'm lazy.
Okay.
So, borrowed goods. This is one of the Toya cards. It's a 4-cost, 3-check, 2 mid, 3 mid for 4. All evil void, ranged weapon, combo face down. Combo enhance, your rival discards 1 card. Love that. Enhance, your rival discards 1 momentum. If they did, add the top card of your deck to your momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you played this without the combo, right? Like, you don't necessarily need to be comboing because Capture Evildoers is a card you're happy playing on an action, so getting it built into an attack seems really good. If you want these symbols, yeah, and like if you're doing the combo thing as well, even better. Yeah. But yeah, just Capture Evildoers on an enhance, no gates, just they discard momentum.
Does this have a home in? Good. Does this have a home in All Might True Form? Because it's a discount Capture Evildoers on an enhance.
Maybe, probably not. Does he play on all? Does he play on good?
Oh, you play on all because then you get cremation.
Okay.
So you put maybe as a sideboard tech for it. You know, like so you go okay. My opponent's still taking momentum. I can then go. You just get momentum. I gain momentum. Detroit Smash is now online.
Maybe because that's maybe the thing is where they just don't play attack, so you don't get the enhanced step to do your actions. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, like it just seems like a good attack, right? No, it just and obviously as well, when we come to look at this character, he's going to be able to obviously trigger that combo a lot. Obviously works with echo attacks. So if you echo something and then combo with that.
Do you know what this attack doesn't have?
What?
Mina 2 symbols.
Let it go, Brett. Let it go.
I can't.
Look, it's never happening. They're never going to support her.
Combo face down. I was like, when I saw that
I know, but it's never happening.
I was so happy for Mina 2 support when I saw ranged weapon combo face down in the article, and then I saw the attack. I was like, why would you do this?
You're just not getting it. It's you just have to let it go.
Best girl just getting disgraced over and over. I mean, like you said, it's an absolutely solid card. He has
Yeah, I can definitely see this team play. Like just for that bottom enhance on an attack is really good. So and like you probably want some ways of triggering that top one, but like don't necessarily need to.
Playing this going into like a Manata 2 matchup, I'm feeling really confident.
Yeah, or like the hard duck, not hard uppercut. No, not the other one. Something uppercut.
Cheerful uppercut.
The cheerful uppercut. That's the badger.
Yeah, going up against cheerful uppercut, going up to Manata 2 when they're adding a face down into there. Playing this into like the Rapper Echo on Evil.
Yeah, it's just good.
Yeah.
I can certainly see this seeing plenty of play.
For some reason, we're now going.
I mean, it doesn't have exciting stats,
No.
but it like I say, it has capture evildoers built in. That's a card that just sees play that people are willing to pay a card to do. So,
for some reason, we're now going over to Deku.
okay. So spoilers, Deku 4 is in the set.
I don't know what OBS did, but unfortunately, I was literally because UA Academy dropped it at like 2:00 our time. I was quickly editing their cards down to fit on OBS before I went to get Flint, and then I don't get the computer back to like 8.
Okay. Well, we won't necessarily call out all the different content creators that have done each of these for now, but hopefully Brett can go back and add them all into the comments later on YouTube again.
I'll definitely add them today, but this was Tamron Cardwell, which because Lenoco was saying the previews were handed out at random, but Tamron still ended up with Deku 4. But yeah, body rejuvenation.
So yeah, body rejuvenation. Yeah, so two difficulty, 5 check, 3 high block. So it's got good, life, and void. Response: remove after this card enters your discard pile during the enhanced step. Gain 2 health.
Seems solid.
Fine. Enhanced: discard 1 card. This attack gets -2 speed. Solid.
Yeah, solid.
So the response will work if you're discarding it, right? So if you discard it during the enhanced step, or even if like that, or if you check something during the enhanced step for whatever reason, that would also work.
Shigaraki, if you're up against Shigaraki 3.
Yeah.
If you play in action, but yeah, okay, I know. It works the same as burst speed and the other one from Bakugo stuff, because I feel this is just going to make recovery girls so much more annoying to deal with.
Possibly.
Because it's case
I don't know how much I like this card. Like that top enhance, is fine, but it's sort of like a freebie, right? And that's not why you're playing this card, not for a 2 difficulty. So I think it's all about how good is in discard a card for -2 speed.
Again, I think
decent.
I think in Deku 4, when we get to that card, it's going to be shown what it is. And with, I think, Any Means Necessary is also going to see a lot more play now in Deku 4.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're talking discard a card, your attack gets +2 speed, is very similar to One With Nature. You just don't get the damage.
No, this is -2 speed, right? Not +2.
Speed. Oh, yeah. This tag is -2 speed. Yeah, no, essentially it's just released from the hand then, in that kind of sense.
Yeah. But your hand resources tend to be more valuable on that block step, right? Because you don't tend to have the 5, 6, and you don't necessarily have hard draw and defense.
I think when you're talking about,
I'm not convinced.
When you talk about Deku, he's got a lot of draw power, and you got to remember he's drawing 3 cards a turn. So I think early game, this is going to keep you alive.
Yeah,
and it's going to allow you to...
discarding card is a real cost, right?
Yeah.
So,
but
I don't know.
If you're going up against someone and turn 2, they've got 4 foundations, you're like, okay, cool. They're launching 3, 4 attacks if they get really lucky. So if I can minimize my damage by having 4 cards in hand, only blocking 2 attacks and making them really easy to manage, you're fine. It's got the good symbol, so passing the torch is a thing. It's got
Yeah.
Void, so calling for backup is draw a card, discard a card. You've got a lot of outs, and there's still a lot of ways to draw cards within the symbols that are on here.
Yeah, I mean, again, I might be wrong. Probably am, but this card doesn't blow me away.
I like it as a defensive option. I don't think it sort of fits in with the Life and Void defensive options. I think it's something that Good has really needed. Apart from like Specialized Soundwaves, Good has not got the greatest way of slowing attacks down to deal with them.
Yeah, you know, if you need defensive options, this seems decent enough. But yeah,
I mean, as a 29 health for as a 5 hand size Deku 4, I'm happy to discard a card to keep myself in the game. Especially if that card has abilities such as any means necessary, or body rejuvenation when I'm gaining life, or I'm drawing more cards, or on Void you've got the Midnight card, which gives the attack minus speed, minus damage, so you can make it even better. For its symbols,
yeah.
it's for the Real Butch has redeemed. Open a pack of High School Musical cards. I really need to disable that while we're doing this. I'll do that towards the end, and then I'll just edit it out. But let's move on to a Fat Gum card, because this LBS hates me. BMI Buster. It's a Fat Gum 2 art, 4 cost, 3 check, 3 high for 4, plus 1 mid block. Fat Gum Breaker 2. I do like a good character breaker. Punch. Response card pull. Flip. Remove 1 foundation after your rival plays an ability on an action card. Cancel it. Remove 2 momentum. Build the top 2 cards of your deck and draw 2 cards.
I mean, that enhances bonkers, right?
Yeah,
If
no.
you've got those 2 momentum, building 2 string harder, drawing 2, yeah, crazy. Obviously, stats aren't exciting, but it's an off zone. I mean, obviously it's better in Fat Gum, but I don't, as we'll get to, I'm sure Fat Gum doesn't excite me that much. So we can ignore that. But it's got a punch. It's got the fire symbol. It can be played in Rappa. He would love to be able to draw 2 more, build some more after he's blown up all his foundations, and then keep going. Like the flip remove, like
Yep.
is solid.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to be situational, right? But
it
just that enhance is very, very powerful.
it can cancel Sugarish Power Up. It can cancel Dark Shadow Ruin. It can
It
cancel.
can cancel plus ultra, right?
Yep, it's an ability that enhance. It can cancel Cremation. It can cancel. Yeah, it can cancel. It can cancel any action. That's its goal. So it's
Only once you've blocked with it defensively,
yeah. But the Breaker
or
2,
you've attacked with it.
the +1 mid Breaker 2 makes it absolutely perfect. Or like saying, on the offense side, you can go cool. They go Evil Gaze. You go okay. You lose your 2, but now I'm just going to cancel it by destroying it by removing 1 foundation.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Freezer Burn, and this feels to me like a discount Freezer Burn. I would happily run both this and Freezer Burn and watch my opponent go, I can't interact with these attacks. Because your rival has to kind of bait out these abilities on there, but it's solid. And
yeah. For me, it's all about that enhance.
yeah, no.
If you can happily trigger that enhance, it's just very, very, very good. And just having a nice 1 mid block is decent. It's not its own attack. It doesn't really have stats. So if you're like a character / build that can put stats on it, like it's only a 4 diff. Yeah, I can see him play.
I mean, it's got
Quite
good.
happily.
It's got good, and it's got fire. So capture evildoers can help you get to that 2 momentum quite easily. It's got earth,
Yeah.
so having face down foundations isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, like I said, it seems like that enhance is absolutely amazing offensively, and that response is primarily going to be a defensive one, but does shut down. It's another card that I would happily sideboard into if I'm playing against Tokiyami.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I'll remove 1 foundation to give you a check, to stop your check getting +3 easily.
Yeah, but it only works on the second one, right?
It'd work on whichever one you're playing. So it depends because not everybody will use it on their first attack. So some people I know do have gone like uh, play an attack, then Dark Shadow Rune.
Yeah, so you'd have literally have had to block the first attack with this because it has to obviously be in your card pool, and then they play the enhance later to be able to, or the action later to be able to use it.
But
So
I mean, being able to go block Breaker 2, flip, remove a foundation, your next check gets put is at full cost after the Breaker 2 seems really good.
yeah, I mean obviously they just don't play the
No,
summon, right? But
but that's what I like. I like having these cards, like Eyes of the Tiger, like BMI, that make your opponent go, I now need to play around these cards and make it a lot harder. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to showcase at the RLE the infinite potential and isolate tackle combos to deal with stuff like Joe. I want more players to be wary of these dumb combos that are out there that can completely shut down attack lines that have been guaranteed in the past. That's just me. Moving on to Big Appetite. 2 check, 5 check, 2 difficulty, plus 2 low block. Gotta love low blocks. You don't see enough of them. Earth, fire, good. Enhance, flip, draw 1 card, discard 1 card, unless your character has a hand size less than your rivals. That'll be printed hand size. I know that in League of Villains there was a lot of issues about actually is if you're. Some people were arguing that is if you got like if your rivals got more cards in the hand, more cards in
yeah,
the hand than you. But no, it's print. It's always printed hand size. And Fat Gum Enhance. Remove the top card of your deck. If the removed card was a foundation, this attack gets +1 speed.
I don't like this card
You don't
at
like
all.
it?
No. So it's a two diff. I mean, it's got a decent block. Flip to draw a card. Like unless you're playing a fight, like maybe you play it in Fat Gum. Like flip draw a card isn't even amazing on a two diff. Um,
No, but
the Fat Gum enhance, remove the top card if it's a foundation that gets +1 speed. Like all of this stuff is like for a two diff. I just no, I don't see me ever playing this card.
I could see 5-handers playing that top in hands. I could see
No,
Muscular running it. I could see Noma running it. Cementos, who cares about face down cards, I could see them running it.
again, you get things like chivalrous. You get passing the torch. You get chivalrous on Earth. You get passing the torch on good. You get like things like lane skill on fire and calling for backups fire. I think.
But it's
Um,
the +2 low block as well, which is something a lot of
yeah, if you're desperate for vaguely playable low blocks, sure. But yeah, I don't see me playing this card.
as a common, I think it's perfectly fine. Just
Yeah, like it's not a terrible card. I'm just like looking at
no,
it from a sort of when I'm going away and I'm taking like this set 5 stuff and I'm looking to build decks. Am I ever going to want to put this card in my deck? And I think even if I'm like, okay, I'm going to build Fat Gun, I don't even think this would make the cut.
if I'm playing a 5-hander, 6-hander, and my primary win source is on Earth is One with Nature or Slack Time, I am pretty much jamming every single card that reads draw a card, so that so I'm not then judging in my hand. Go how deep can I afford to go if I've got 4 attacks and 2 foundations? It's because how am I playing this so I can get the most value out of my One with Nature, out of my Snack Time? If all my foundations and all my attacks read draw a card, then I am sitting pretty just going, yeah, I'm going to overtax you for interacting with my attacks at all.
Yeah, I still don't like it on a two diff.
And as a 6-7-hander,
But I
you're
think
gonna get.
I feel like this could have been a one diff and it would have been fine.
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't think either of those things are particularly powerful. Like, um, on a 1 diff. But hey, like I'm not the design team. I'm assuming they've made it a 2 for a reason.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't like it.
I mean, there has to be a power level. We can't just have everything is instantly playable. We have to have some cards that go, I'll jam it in there because I need it, because that's how the game works.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't just have all gold. You need to have some shiny brass as well.
Oh, I know.
Would you like to introduce Bad Guy Roundup?
Yeah, so it's a 4 difficulty 3 check. It's a 2 high block. So it's a 3 low 4 damage. It's a Fury Slam with powerful 2. So it's another Fat Gum card. So it's got Fire and Good. So response after you play this card, your rival discards 1 momentum. Hello, instant Shining
Yeah.
Flash. And then enhance if you have more ready foundations than your rival, draw a card. Solid. So it's not. It's an uncommon as well from his kit.
I like.
In slam stonks, so we're getting a lot more. I have noticed there's a lot more slams in this set. It seems so. Things like that. I don't know what other characters care about slams other than Selkie.
Selkie!
But yeah.
Let's have a look.
Obviously, the new Mirio does slams, right? Isn't he punch or slam?
Punch or slam, yes. That's what.
Yeah.
Card text slam.
But yeah, it's just more momentum hate, right?
Innsmouth, Mirio. Let's just make it characters. So, characters that care about slam are Innsmouth, Mirio, Ingenium, and Selkie.
Okay.
So yeah, 4 out of like 110 characters isn't the worst.
No, but hey, they're getting a bit more support. But yeah, so obviously, like people play Instant Shining Flash mainly for that response text, right?
Yeah.
This has got that powerful 4. It's an off-zone attack. It's got a reasonable block.
And you can play both. Yeah. You can play Instant Shining Flash and Bad Guy Roundup under Earth.
Yeah. If you really, really want to hate on momentum.
Yeah, if you really go, I don't want you having momentum. But I think this is just a solid opener attack. You go first attack, cool. Even if I fail it, I'm committing 1.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say your opponent goes. You're on the draw. They build, you build. They go, okay, turn 2, I'll poke, get momentum, and you're like, okay, my turn 2, I'll poke, get momentum, draw off this, get rid of your momentum, I'll draw off this. No, I'll have the momentum instead, or you block or whatever.
Yeah, it's a solid card that replaces itself. So yeah, I can't argue with that.
I mean, you're not always going to fire off that enhance, but like when you do, it's going to feel really good.
It feels like a more balanced hardened jab. Whereas jab lets you pick up a face down and build, or just build. So it replaces itself.
The big thing about jab is the building part of it, right?
Yeah.
Not really the drawing stuff.
It's also the fact it replaces itself in your hand. If you destroyed a face down and then built the top card of your deck, like with with Chop.
Well, I mean, let's not compare stuff with jab because jab's bonkers. But yeah, obviously, like it's an off zone, it's a low, which is always nice. So yeah, this seems solid. I can certainly see this scene play. Like whether you play that in main because you're doing Fury stuff or Slam stuff or whatever.
It's a Fury. Fire Bakugo could slam this as like a 3rd, 4th attack.
Yeah, it just seems solid. Yeah. Like again, I could, you're probably not slamming this at a 4 in every deck, but like if you're looking for that instant Shining Flash effect, like on good, on fire, this does it, right? And people play that card just for that effect. So.
Just going off the way the meta is now, you might slam this in as a 3/4 of just to get around Jiro. Because a 2 high block that gets rid of momentum seems very strong against Specialized Sound Waves. You can cut off their string.
Yeah, but Jiro's not going to be doing that anymore. Jiro's going to be doing Star Strike stuff, so let's not worry too much. But
well, we might not get the futures now until late June, so we don't know.
That is true. But yeah, no, like I said, this seems really solid. Yeah. I can absolutely see this thing play.
Moving back to one of the most gorgeous cards that we're going to see in XR, Without Limits. 2 difficulty 5 check plus 2 low block. Good Life Void. Flip discard momentum. After your attack deals damage, your next Fury punch gets -3 difficulty. Yeah, no, just yeah, put it in.
Yeah, again, it's a two diff, right? It's the two diff slot, so that's sort of what you're competing with here. Like the cost is reasonable for its effect. Like flip discard momentum +3 to check is pretty decent, or -3 difficulty, whatever. It's got a nice 2 low block. So yeah, if
It's
it's something you're in the market with, it seems decent.
on.
Again, it's just I think definitely going into set 5.
Yeah,
We're now in very much the position where there's almost too many options, right?
yeah.
Uh,
We're now getting to the
and
point where
there's now a whole lot of competition for slots, and especially in the sort of 2 to 3 diff slot. I don't know how much we're going to get away from the world of spam and spam being king. I know there's sort of 2 trains of thought, right? There's the sort of team. I want everything to be spam so I can play my broken orange cards, and then there's the don't play spam. The text is blank. Play the good 2 and 3 discs because you can, and they've got all the good text on it, right?
yeah.
Um, I don't. I think I probably fall more into the spam is king thing, but so I think there's just a lot more competition for that 2 diff slot and like what you're playing. Um,
I can,
so whether this is then ends up good enough to be in that slot.
but for me, it falls into what a lot of the commentary and a lot of the people have been saying around deck building and around going into. It was mainly when it was in the Ojo meta. Is what I built my mina around. You decide what you want your deck to do, and you then
Yeah,
build your entire deck around that one purpose. And if my one purpose is stringing out a series of punches to kill you, then I am playing Velocity Punch without limits.
yeah. But yeah, this is very much obviously a go wide deck rather than
Yeah,
thing rather than go tall, right? So there's your go tall type decks, which is I'm just going to play 2 or 3, and they're going to be for a schmillion,
yeah.
or I'm going to play 5 or 6. This is
Because
a I'm going to play 5 or 6.
because this doesn't have the non-throw stipulation like Rappa, you can
Mm.
play reverse throw, you can play overhead reversal, and you can then get your damage in on throw. You can then get -3 to your next attack, which means you can play stupid big attacks like 1,000,000% Detroit Delaware Smash, which is coming.
Mm.
And you can go, cool, this it was on an 8, it's now on a 5. And go, oh, yeah. I can see like big stupid punches. I can see this going into the funny punch deck. And be like, going, cool, I've got this down. If my second attack hits, or if this funny punch hits, my next one is going to be even easier to cast.
Yeah, like I say, I think it's solid, and I think it's something you could absolutely consider and absolutely play. It's just like, yeah, there's just so much competition for that slot, and as a one shot effect, right? You're just getting one go out of this,
Yeah,
compared to like if you look at and I appreciate something like One with Nature is are possibly the best card in the format, but obviously that's repeatable. You've got your 2 diff doing this thing all the time, like passing the torch is your other 2 diff. It's doing this thing every single turn. It's drawing you that card. This is a one shot.
yeah.
So you're using this on your kill turn.
But how many?
Um,
Yeah, exactly. And how many times have you been sat there? You've got your opponent to say 4 or 5. They've got no cards in hand. You've dealt damage, and you just don't have enough resources to get that final attack in. This
yeah,
says you now have those resources. You launch your 4th attack. You commit down to 3 foundation. Joe ever goes, you can't attack me again. It's going to be on a +4 to whatever you play. It goes in, does damage. You discard your momentum, flip this, and go, now I can. Now I
yeah,
can get this final attack, and now I can mean, kill you.
yeah. Like I say, I could see this being like a 1 or 2 in a deck that wants to do this, right? Where you just you're sort of building, poking. You get your one or two of these in play, so then let you strung out. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
like I think it's solid.
I,
Like I say, just
it,
doesn't.
it definitely goes in the anime protagonist sort of I'm going to kill you this turn with this attack sort of like style of play.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
definitely cool.
As a rare, it's going to be cool, and I think it's going to be great in XR. But I think all
Yeah,
Deathly Force cards are going to be. Moving on to one of the Jasco spoiled cards, Trusted Assistant. Would you like to introduce this one, Richard?
sure. So it's a one check. Sorry, one difficulty 4 check. 2 low block. It's got all evil and order. I'm not sure which character kit's this from. I
Uh,
haven't necessarily watched much of this part of the series, so
I
you'll have to.
believe this is Kronos.
Oh yeah, okay. What was it? Yeah,
Just going
Chrono
on,
something.
just going, yeah,
We'll
just
get to
go.
them. So yeah, enhanced flip. If this attack was played from anywhere other than the hand, commit one rival foundation. And deadlock form, commit one rival asset or foundation. Um, See, this is solid because again, it's just that one check, that one diff, right? And it's going to sort of be one of those options for those evil Shihasakai. I'm playing stuff from other zones
Yeah.
characters because flip for targeted commit is really good in my
Yes.
opinion. And obviously the deadlock form commit an asset or foundation. So, and it's really nice it being a form because it means you're like, okay, I'll deadlock form, commit it, commit your thing, and then I'll play my attack. So I'll commit down your specialist of sound, then I'll play my attack.
If
So
we see more uh, Echo cards coming out, as we've seen with us, this could also go into Shigaraki Free Order. As we saw with
yeah,
Liam's deck, and we were talking to him last week, target committal is very powerful, and Order has a lot of target committal with Jolt and with Engine Trouble and with the foundations that came with League of Villains. And adding this extra stipulation in there can make it so you can just shut out your opponent's entire engine pieces of their deck and just go, yeah, you're playing my game. You are no longer a proactive player, you're a reactive player.
yes, I think you really have to be doing the other anywhere other than hand reasonably hard to justify the four. Um,
No, yeah, I think this is a.
I don't think you play this in a deck with say like you know, 3 or 4 echo attacks, right? Just 3 or 4 cards with echo, and that's your only way of triggering it. Then it's just not good enough for the 4 check.
If I'm playing it under the overhaul crew, I play this as a 3 of 4 if I'm feeling spicy. If I'm playing it as Echo as my only trigger, it's a 1 of 2 of. Again, low blocks are decent, and being
Yeah,
able to deadlock form seems really powerful.
yeah. Like committing down their League of Villains, committing down their Young Heroes or whatever, committing down, um, what I'd say the Specialist of Sound or the Heroic Lineage or
I
their
also think
encouraging training partner, whatever sort of defensive piece you need to get rid of.
this is also a good meta pick going against uh, set 5 because this is not a defensive. This is a defensive enhance as well.
Da, 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 da.
If this attack was played,
Yes, it doesn't say your attack, right?
no.
So
So
if they're doing echo stuff, if they're doing Kirigiri stuff,
yeah,
or you
if they
know
you can go
any of that sort of
cool.
thing.
You play this attack from your card pool. Flip. I'll commit one with nature. Your turn's now going to get a lot. I can now have a bit more action. I can commit down one of your attacks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice little anti-meta card as well, and I could easily see with this being a rare. If I pull it, I'm probably running it in sealed. In the pre-release, if I pull this, I'm probably
oh
running
yeah,
it.
yeah. You absolutely
Yeah.
play this in sealed, right? Because everyone's doing the thing.
In
Everyone's
in,
going to be doing the thing.
in pre-release, I 100% am running this and going. If I see this, I am probably winning this game because, well, at least your turn is not going to go anywhere near as good as you expect it to.
Yeah, and it's just a flip. It's not a flip commit, right? So
No,
so they're down a resource, you're not.
exactly.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
so again, it's cool. again, if the format is about doing the thing or your deck is about doing the thing, this goes in it. If it's not,
Exactly. Yeah, luckily that's what sideboards are for. Moving on to Toya Setsuno.
okay.
626 health. Not my favourite stats mode. All evil void. Uh, Form once per turn. Commit one foundation. Choose one attack in your rival's discard. As your next form, play the top card of your deck face down as a copy of that attack. Enhance flip one foundation. Your attack gets +2 speed. If it's a weapon, it gets +1 damage.
Yes, I like this guy. Because he just plays all their good stuff, right? It's cool. Is he good? I don't know, but he's definitely cool. And obviously, this is where going back to we saw his ultra earlier. Obviously, he's playing the thing face down as the form,
So the combo
and then
is easy to
he gets
play.
the combo easy, right? Yeah, commit a foundation to play your 1.3 million. Commit a foundation to play your X, Y, Z, whatever you want to do, right?
Exactly.
And obviously, it does not have to be like your first form. It could be, whatever. So,
It's
um,
later on down the line. So if you look at hey, they've got a great finisher. They've got a combo card I can use.
mhm.
It's great and it's a void, so you can easily get around that weapon stipulation quite easily.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what all weapons, evil weapons, void, obviously void weapons. There's loads of them.
Well, I mean,
I'm not a huge fan of the weapon package, but being able to say, okay, I'll commit a foundation, play your attack. I could then flip it either on this attack for +2 speed. If it happens to be a weapon, I get the damage as well. Or I play a weapon foundation later, and then I get the 2 speed and 1 damage off the thing I've committed. Um, yeah, seems solid.
yeah, no,
Like you're flipping a foundation for 2 speed, 1 damage is pretty good. Like it's a good rate, right? Because it doesn't have to be a ready foundation. You're just committing resources you don't care about. Um,
they that inform enhance is kind of what I was expecting All for One to kind of do. But I like it. I really like that. I think it's great limiting it to once per turn. I think committing one foundation as a cost seems fairly decent.
yeah.
Uh,
Again, I don't know how competitive this guy is. I mean, weapon packages traditionally haven't been overly competitive, right? We'll have to see how it works out in set 5. He's
but
definitely going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, there's a lot of evil cards that don't need it, but they've also got Stain's got a lot of weapons. Momo is on
Yeah.
all as well, a lot of weapons. Could definitely see
Eraserhead does weapons, right? Or is that just
Eraserhead has weapons as well as combo weapons.
mm.
And they do a lot of speed. They can get around progressive as well. Guy could be actually a decent threat. The main
Yeah, yeah.
issue,
Like he's going to be good. At the very minimum, he's going to be a really cool locals deck. Is he going to be competitive? I don't know.
yeah.
Because part of the problem you're probably going to have with him is that top form is really, really cool. It's not very consistent,
I
right?
tell you, I tell you what, I would probably do if I was playing a weapons package already, and I see my opponents playing Staff Strike. I might sideboard into him, and then go like, foundation, play your Staff Strike,
Yeah,
and then go, ha ha, Staff
but yeah,
Strike
like
Toya.
he's cool, and he's going to be a lot of fun to play. Uh, I don't rate the chance of being hugely competitive.
No, compared
Like top
to
tier.
Rapper Deku 4 overhaul,
Hmm.
he's not S tier, but he's definitely going to be in the fun tier. He's going to be in the monomer sort of like having fun playing your opponent's cards against them.
I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he is that bad. Like
I
that bottom enhance, flipping a foundation for 2 speed, 1 damage. His stats on face, it's a good rate.
I don't think
Like I
monomer's
think,
bad. I honestly don't think monomer's bad. I like monomer. I just think he's underplayed, and I think going into the overhaul Deku 4 meta, I think monomer could see a rise because What's better than being a 5-hander 29 that draws 3 extra? Being a 6-hander that draws 3 extra.
On to the next card.
Let's slam these out and get back to the rest as soon as we can. The Strength for a Pro.
So take it away.
No, man, you go for it.
Okay. So yeah, Strength for a Pro. It's a 2 difficulty, 5 check, 3 high block foundation. Earth, Fire, and Good. Enhanced flip. If you have 3 or fewer ready foundations, the attack is -3 speed. And enhanced remove. If you have 10 or less health, gain 2 health. Playable while committed. This seems solid.
Yeah, no.
Just for that top enhance. Flip 3 or fewer get -3 speed. It's just good. But again, it's a 1 shot on a 2 difficulty, right? The remove is solid, but if you've got 10 or less, gaining 2. It has the magic words, playable while committed. It's nice defense as a 1 shot.
I think if
I could see this seeing some play.
If the top
especially on things like fire that needs defense because it just doesn't have any.
If the top enhance was also playable while committed, it would be an instant just get in my deck.
Oh, if it was playable while committed on the top, it'd be insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see this in play just because.
I think it as a 2 difficulty.
Probably not on Earth, but on Good and Fire. I think it needs a defense, so I can certainly see this in play.
Because it's a 2 difficulty, I can see we probably won't see play in Earth or Good because their slots are pretty much decided. But I could see it being a sideboard or a 1 or 2 of in Fire just for that extra defense as we needed. Because, like you said, it just doesn't have the options there.
No. So yeah, it's good. It's solid. Yeah. I can see it seeing some amount of play. I don't know how much, but yeah.
Surprising Interception. A 1 difficulty +1 mid block, 5 check. Response. Commit 1 foundation. After you block with this card, the blocked attack cannot be added to its rival's momentum this turn. Love it.
Decent enough spam. It's got a nice block on it, obviously, which you sort of want for something you want to be blocking with. Obviously, it's awkward because it's a foundation. You wouldn't want to hold in hand. Again, maybe as a sort of sideboardy thing against momentum heavy deck.
If I Chivalrous or Petty Squabbled or Passing the Torch and drew this, I'm happy. It's like this is I mean, it's on Earth, so it's on Earth, so you can still Manly Passionate could still be a thing.
Yeah.
But going up against Jolt, going up against Instant Explosive Release, I'm happy to take 2 and shut down your ability to put that in the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. Like, it's solid. Like, it's... Again, I don't know how much to play it sees. It depends how much you really want to hate on momentum, which obviously there's just getting more and more of. But yeah, it's decent enough.
Thinking about the meta as it is now, I think if my rival has 0 gravity lifted and like removed it to say this attack goes to momentum after it resolves, if you block with this, that is going to annoy that's going to annoy your opponent very much.
Yeah, and also stopping Jolts going to momentum, stopping the 0 grav lift going to momentum, stopping instant explosive relief going to momentum, stopping X, Y, and Z going to momentum. It's good, right? So obviously there's a reasonably steep cost to it of having to commit the foundation. Also, effectively having almost like an action, right? So you sort of never want to place foundation. You can, but obviously it's just blank in your stage. It's solid. I can see it seeing some out of play, but yeah.
So there's a Crossfate Will who plays Shoto 2. Shoto 1 I was talking to him about how to play Shoto 1 going up against Jiro, and he was saying that a lot of the times now he will not use Shoto's ability to cancel the Jolt 1 damage. He'll use it to cancel the instant explosive release going to momentum.
Yeah.
And that is the same sort of feeling I'm getting from this card. I'm happy to run this. As the meta stands now, we don't know how it's going to be in a month or 2. But if my opponent goes, cool, I'll play Jolt, you go, okay, block it, take the 1, and they go, instant explosive release, you go, yep, block, I'll take 2, that doesn't go to your momentum.
Mm-hmm.
It slows Jiro down. It slows down a lot of cards, and it's in fact, unlike some of the other cards that have been spoiled, let's say at the end step, they can't leave the card pool, and they don't leave the card pool at the end step. This just business. This turn, this isn't going to momentum. Simple as. I like that. I like that a lot. Surging Crystal Darts. 5 cost, 3 difficulty. So 5 difficulty, 3 check. 2 low block, 5 high, 5 ranged weapon. Not bad. Response: after you check this card, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Seems good with his ability to play attacks from his discard. This attack gets +1 damage for every 6 cards in your discard pile. Deadlock Enhance, this attack gets +1 speed for every 6 cards in your discard pile. So it reminds me of the original Endeavour.
I think this is very good. So, like, realistically, that's going to be 2 damage to begin with, right? So, you build 5, you've checked 5 cards.
Yeah.
You play this, you check your 6th card.
So that's +1 damage.
You've got 2 damage. So on face, it's generally going to be a 5 for 7.
Well, it's only 1 damage because it's +1 damage for every 6
1
cards.
damage, yes, sorry, yeah. 5 for 6, yeah, that's right, I think it's 5 for 3.
So yeah, if you went first and you built 5, you didn't review, and you check this, that's a minimum of 6.
So again, it's a 5 high 6, so it's an off zone. It's got a nice low block on it. It's got the water. So again, I don't know really how much all and evil do range stuff, but they obviously do weapons. Water likes it for things like frigid and stuff like that. Yeah.
Frozen.
Seems good.
Frozen Slash can make this a 7/7. On Evil, it gets access to all the Endeavour stuff, so you can put it with Revel in his Masterpiece, which would then make it a 5/7, which makes the next ones even harder. And when you check, if you're playing it under you draw 2, discard 2, boom, it goes up. You check this, it goes up. Your discard goes up by 3 more, and you play it from your discard. Yeah, no,
and hear me out. Evil Tokoyami.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a minimum of 10 cards in there. Yeah,
and like discarding the top 3 is good, right? Self-mill's good in Tokoyami, fill it up.
And with Summon Dark Shadow, it would be a 6/6, so it's gonna be 6/8, 6/10.
Yeah, it's just
as an early attack. That's solid. Yeah, Evil. Yeah. I think it might be time for Tam to bring back Evil Tokoyami with this. Evil's got a lot.
I don't know. Again, I don't know what other ranged slash, because I don't think he does weapons. Might do, but yeah, I think Evil Tokoyami might want this.
You don't really need to keep it range locked, but you have got Dark Shadow Ruin, which is ranged.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely go down the evil lines because you could play Rivet Stab as a free cost in Tokoyami. As long as you can get to 5 damage, you're just drawing a card, which is not hard for Tokoyami to do because you get the +1/+1. Then you get the +1 from Tokoyami, so you just need 1 more damage, and you're drawing a card off that. Yeah, Evil Tokoyami could be a big deal moving forward.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this card's really good, and I certainly think it will see play in those decks that want to be self-milling, right, and are self-milling. So obviously on water, it'd be Shoto 1.
Shoto 1. Yeah, Shoto 1 has self-mill. You could see it run in Endeavour 1, which has got a fair bit of self-mill. Dabby 1 doesn't have evil.
But yeah, I think just any of those decks that are doing self-mill stuff and benefit from doing so, I think that's a card you definitely want to consider.
You could even see it in Manata 2 because he fills up his discard quite quickly.
Yeah, I just think you want other payoffs, right? Ideally.
Yeah, no,
So, for
it's not.
example, like the Tokiyami is you're filling up stuff for Frigid, or you're getting
Yeah,
your summons in your discard pile, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think it's good, and I think it'll definitely survive.
I definitely think you don't run that in a 60 card in a 50 card deck. I think you need to be like high 60s for that kind of card.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Like it doesn't. Like aside, brief. Everyone was like when Dabby 2 came out, it's like, oh, you have to play 80 cards decks. You don't. You just play your slim deck and you kill them, and your self null doesn't matter.
So
And
what you're saying is
it's not a cost.
just play super defensively now, and you're fine. Would you like to introduce Surge?
Yeah. So this is Nejire. Is that her name?
Yep, Nigeri of the Big Three.
Yeah. So it's a 2 difficulty 5 check, 1 mid block. It's got air, chaos, and life. Enhance, commit your ranged attack gains stun 1. It gets +1 speed for each attack your rival has blocked this turn. And then enhance, flip, your charge or ranged attack gains EX2. Solid.
Yeah.
There's another one that's similar to this where it's like commit to give something stun 2, isn't there? I think it's like a Nomu card that gives a Fury stun 1 or something.
Villainous encounter commit.
Villainous encounter, yeah, something along those lines, yeah.
Commit +1 speed, +1 damage. No, yeah. So that's +1 speed, +1 damage. Your next range that gets plus.
And that's first will encounters. I'm saying there's something that commits to give a Fury stun 1.
That's the Nomu card.
Yeah, I think it's like Villainous Entrance.
Villainous Entrance commit this Fury attack gets stun 1.
Yeah. So he commit for stun 1 and then maybe 1 or 2 speeds. How good is that? Probably decent enough. Flip to give EX2 is good. Again, I don't see you playing many copies of this, but I can certainly see in that. And again, it's very much a ranged. I don't know why it's got the charge on it because you're just playing this in a ranged package deck.
I could see this in the Chaos Air kind of lineup.
Yeah,
I think this could easily slide into Zero Air when you go Indiscriminate or you drop the Home Run Comet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just go commit. This is now got stun 1, and it's got +1 for each of the attack, +1 speed for each of the attacks you blocked before us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think this is a great way to make sure that your kill attack gets through.
And there's a certain amount on this card of threat of activation, right? It's like, do I want to block your first 2 attacks knowing that your third one's going to come in with an extra stun 1 and 2 speed?
Exactly.
Or you build up some momentum, so it's just like, I can flip, give my Indiscriminate EX2, pitch through momentum. It's now got 6 speed and 70 million damage. Catch.
I mean,
and it's also just got a really nice block on it, right? So this feels like a 2 diff that's worth it in the right deck.
In life, being able to give Cannon Blast a EX2 or a stun 1 and +1 speed for each one.
Yeah.
Seems
good.
No, if I do bring Mina back, I will probably slam one of these into Mina just because it just a lot of work. Spiral Surge Wave, or as I like to call it, Discount Double Jump Pummel. A 4 cost 3 check +1 low block, 4 mid 4 damage. Charge Fury. Lose 1 health. This attack gets +2 damage, which makes it more blockable. If this attack is blocked, your next check to play a card gets +1 for each attack your rival has blocked this turn.
See, obviously she's all about punishing previous blocks, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you sort of in that again, sort of caught in that tight space of, do I block these early ones? And then obviously then they string hard, they get bonuses from this or the previous card. Or maybe I don't block, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to save this block later. And it's like, okay, cool, you take some damage, build, you'll go.
Well, this one card makes me want to rebuild my Chaos Stabby 1. Being able to go a 4 mid for 6, that's cost me 1 life. That basically says, if you block it, my next one gets -1. So I go, okay, cool. 4 mid 6. Then I play a Zo, which is a 4/7 that gives -1 to all your checks. And I get to play this at -1 because you block the 4/6. Then I play Double Jab Pummel, which is on a 5. And then my next one gets -2. And it's always like all my checks just get nice and cheap, while all my attacks are coming in for ridiculous amounts of damage that you need to block.
Yeah. Yeah, seems good. Again, if you're doing this sort of thing, if you're doing that charge fury thing, and it's just got, again, a really nice block on it. So
yeah, no. Again, I think this works well with training with Gunhead. I think this will see as an uncommon. I think this will see a lot of play. I think its XR is going to be ridiculously priced because it's the waifu tax.
Mm-hmm.
But
again, it's got charge, right? So I can go into Jiro. What does she give for charge? Is it damage or speed?
Damage.
I can't remember.
Damage.
Okay.
So if you play this as your first attack, you play Jolt, then you play you go on there. But basically, you can throw this in as a 4 mid for. It's a minimum of 6 with -1 damage. So you're talking a 4 mid for 8 or 9. That gives +1 to your next check. That combos with Double Jab Pummel. It makes Jiro a lot more consistent and goes, you now need to block more of my attacks that are coming in that are going to make my next attacks cheaper.
I mean, for the first time in all of these cards, this is actually a card that works with Double Jab Pummel. And that's okay. But we're going to leave that card on the sideboard and never talk about it again, ever again.
But for me, it's a case of this goes into Jiro, but I don't know what comes out.
Sure. I mean, it might do, right? It might be good enough. It might not be.
No.
So, but again, it's just, do you need the die block? Do you need that nice die block on it? That sort of thing. So,
yeah, and low blocks are something that a lot of decks come around. I think I was like talking to Carlos, and he built a Shigaraki Death deck, and it had 10 low blocks. I know Kyle, who got top 8 with his Death Arms, was only running 10 low blocks, because when you talk to people and content creators about low attacks, they go, I don't die to low attacks. I die to indiscriminate shock, but I don't die to low attacks. And attacks like this that go, I'm a 4 mid for 6, can really mess that logic up. And again, it's just such a good low block. Chaos doesn't have the greatest low. I think the only other +1 low block is Wealthy Aspirations, which is good in a certain amount of decks.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I can certainly see it seeing play.
Definitely. Then we've got Spiral Blasts. 5 cost, 3 check, +2 high block, 3 high for 5. Echo. Gotta love Echo. Enhance. Gain 2 health. If you're at max health, this attack gets +2 damage instead. Deadlock Enhance. Add 2 momentum add 2 momentum to your hand, and add 2 cards from your hand to your momentum.
Up to. So that can just be +2 cards to your hand, and then don't bother putting anything out, right? Or you just put in the one of your foundations into your hand, so you can pay for the Echo on this.
Exactly. It's a Echo ranged. Not too bad at all.
Do I like this card? I don't know. Gaining the 2 health is nice. Like, just have it because it's like free. Right? I really don't like cards like Super Regen, which are just health gain.
I like this in Asui 1.
Yeah.
On air, on life, Asui 1 being able to just go. Yeah,
the issue with Asui 1 is once you flipped it, she can't kick it, right?
Yeah, but you don't. You just don't use the momentum. But the ability to gain to life and have a deadlock threat on board.
If you're not doing, the Echo, then I don't like it. No, I don't like this in Asui 1. I don't like playing an Echo here. Like, she just wants to kick stuff. I think it's solid. It doesn't excite me so much as an Echo. Again, I'm probably wrong about this, but the 3 speed is off-putting.
The 3 speed is off-putting, but with training with Gunhead, easily excited, You could slam this into a midnight deck, and it becomes a 5/5.
Yeah. Like gaining 2 health is always nice. Like in theory, if you're Echo, it's like gained 4, and obviously it has to kind of get out of jail free. So it's not like if you're at max health, it does nothing because you get the +2
Yeah.
damage. Um,
It
yeah, it seems decent. I don't know
it
how much play it would see, but it seems like a cool card.
as an ultra rare, it's a bit disappointing in itself,
Yeah,
but I can being a the fact it doesn't go to momentum if you flip it means it feeds into Frigid Heatwave, it feeds into Shoto 1. I think this is a solid card, and I do think this is probably going to see a lot more play than a lot of people are giving it credit for.
I mean certainly more than I'm getting credit for. Um,
I like it. And then we got the common attack spiral, single spiral. 4 cost, 3 check, 3 high for 5, +2 mid block. Enhance, lose 1 health. If this attack is blocked, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. So this attack just doesn't get blocked.
no, again, unexciting. I mean, you say that, but it's 5 damage, so it's on that kind of realm of I kind of feel like I need to block it because it's enough of a chunk.
To go back to the
Especially in her kit because obviously she gets to she gets a plus. I can't remember which way around is it? Is it lose health for minus speed and plus damage, or is it plus damage minus speed? I can't remember which way around it is.
let's put characters. So can I just find her in here?
Can find that here quickly.
No, that's Nigeria Wave. She
It's minus speed and plus damage. Okay, so she doesn't have speed on face. Yeah, I don't like it. Too slow.
To go back to the card that you told me to put in the sideboard, but essentially this is the other half of double jab pummel that the other attack didn't have. And
yeah,
as much as you're saying you have to block it, the amount of people that look at double jab pummel going, yeah, I'm not allowing you to filter, I'm taking 5.
Sometimes that matters, sometimes it don't. I think probably double jab should be blocked more than it currently is. I'm certainly a fan of just blocking it and just saying, "Cool, go ahead."
How about this as an Asui card?
Yes, yeah. You could definitely play in Air or Life. Actually, she has Air and Life, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely could.
Because it's a 4 cost, so you play this as a second attack. It goes up to a 5 high 5, and then he goes, if you block it, I get to filter.
Yeah, yeah. This could definitely go in the frog.
Yeah.
But again, it's just sort of like I was saying earlier, there's just so much competition for slots now, right?
Yeah.
Will this kind of be good enough? I don't necessarily think it will be, but I could see a world where it is.
The fact that this is just a filter card, I could see definitely making space into Shoto 1. Because it's a ranged attack, so you drop it down, you commit a foundation, and you can get this to 8, 9, 10 damage.
Yeah.
And you can go, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's just always getting blocked though, and yeah, you get the filter off it, but it's just always getting blocked if it needs to be blocked.
But it's an off zone, so just because it's getting blocked doesn't mean it's getting fully blocked.
No, that's not necessarily a bad thing all the time, right? It's just, yeah, okay. Again, it's solid, but I don't know whether we'll end up making the cut.
Yeah, I think if where's the one we just looked at? I think if you can get the deadlock enhance off Spiral Blast with this, she'll be. I think she is a character you cannot go into deadlock against, because if you're not blocking this, if you're just taking the damage from this, from double jab, from all these filtering cards, and then you go into deadlock and they go, cool, I'm now just going to take these cards that filter or increase my checks and put them back in my hand. Yeah, they're going, I'm in danger now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's solid, but So what we got next?
Ryukyu agency trainees. Would you
So we got it's a 2 difficulty 5 check, 2 low block ally foundation
okay?
with air, chaos, and life. Response commit after attack is blocked. Build the next foundation you play this turn. And deadlock response commit after attack is blocked. Your rival commits 2 foundations. Is cool. It kind of puts the what is it? The Missouri smash
Yeah,
on a
Missouri Smash.
thing, kinda.
Yeah, it's when
Um,
it's blocked
but
rather than.
again, it's a 2 difficulty, and it doesn't sort of it gets you upper foundation kinda going forward, but for that turn you're at parity, right? Because you're having to commit this and you get the one back in. Um, so it's certainly a good way of getting around breaker, right? It's a good anti-breaker card because it's like you're going to break or something. Cool, I'll response commit this because it's after attack is blocked,
Blocked, yeah.
right? Yeah. So
It's not even completely blocked. It's just blocked.
yeah. So it's a good anti-breaker card, right? Because it just says, okay, next time you breaker me, I'm gonna commit this, play a foundation to eat up your breaker, build it in, and then continue on my merry way.
Okay, but
Um,
imagine this world where you play Command Pigeon Flock and you build this in, and then it gets blocked. You spawn commit and you build in one with nature, and
Yeah,
then you
and
just keep going.
that's the other thing, right? To like build in good offensive pieces
Yeah,
mid string. Um, like to me, it reads as the like is sort of anti breaker tech.
yeah.
Um, the deadlock thing on it is obviously very good. You're sort of not allowed to go into deadlock against this card. Um,
It shares two symbols with requesting assistance. You definitely cannot go into because you get momentum, so and then you just go, yeah, response commit. It was blocked. I will build down. You go cool. Play your next attack, and you go requesting assistance. Ready up. If you block it, I'm gonna build again.
yeah, and mostly that's fine because you're not going up in resources to continue stringing. Like it's not doing what Missouri does. Because part of what Missouri did was it built you resources mid-string to help you continue going. This is just getting you one off. Like to me, like I say, this is sort of almost like a sideboard piece against people
It
that are playing heavy breaker.
it's
Um,
definitely a Missouri smash, but when you haven't dealt damage with a punch this turn, that's what it reminds me of.
yeah, but Missouri doesn't. But the problem is you're committing a resource to get that resource. You're not
Yeah,
going up, whereas Missouri got you up one, right? Um, like if you're playing Pigeon Flock, then I can see playing like maybe a copy in your main deck that you're sometimes going to mill and build in when it's good. But I feel like this is a sideboard anti-breaker thing.
yeah. If you're playing against a lot of anti-breaker, if you're playing against a very defensive Toru Minato sort of deck, you go, okay, cool. I'm gonna take advantage of your defensiveness, and it's an ally card, so it fits into Dark Shadow Behemoth quite well.
Yeah.
Not that that card sees a lot of play. I think we'll do the next three, and then we'll call it there because it's quite late.
Okay, okay. So yeah, this is Rewind Throttle. It's a 4 difficulty 3 check, 3 high block, Fury Punch. It's a 5 high for 3. Got good life and void, so it's a Deku punch. Enhance discard one card, commit a Royal Foundation. And then enhance if you discard the card during this attack, draw a card. So just ignoring any sort of character synergies, it's pretty good because it's just like discard a card, draw a card, commit a Royal Foundation. It's targeted
Yeah,
committal as well, and that's always very good. So if you've got any, and it's like 5 speed off zone on a 4 difficulty, the block's a bit rubbish, but sure. But if you've got any way of putting damage on it, this is very good.
which
Um,
Deku 1, 2, 3, and 4 all do.
yeah,
No,
and it's got that draw a card if you discard a card, and obviously it sort of fulfills its own problem, right? In that it's the other enhance does it. Um, Yeah, I think this is very good actually.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
think this is a completely solid rare. I think it's very well statted, and it essentially just reads discard a card, commit a rival foundation, draw a card.
yes. And sometimes, they're already tapped out or whatever, so it's okay, cool. I'll discard a card for one with nature and then draw a card,
Yeah,
stuff like that. So
discard a card to discard my hand, draw a card. Discard a
yeah,
card +2, +1/+2, draw
yeah.
a
You
card.
basically just need, as long as you've got ways of putting damage on this to make it relevant, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the good in this is just going to lead to Deku just being able to out resource people because you can just literally go rewind throttle into Valiant Assault into Future Charge, and you can just keep. You can essentially play all your cards and have them all replace each other or better,
Yeah,
which allows Deku 2 to just really pop off. Rewind Smash is a 4-cost free check 4 mid 4 with a +2 mid block. Fury Punch enhance. If this attack is blocked, add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. Seems decent. It could get attack or foundation, especially if you're the one choosing what you discard. Enhance. If you have discarded a card during this enhanced step, this attack gains stun 1. If an attack was discarded, the next attack you play gets +2 speed. Yeah, as an uncommon, this is more than decent.
yeah. Again, you just need to be able to load the damage on it, right, to make sure that they have to block it.
Yeah, and although we haven't had time to display it, Deku 4 more than is able to do that.
Yeah,
Deku 2 can easily do it as well, but it's just the beautiful synergy of say I'll discard a rewind smash or a back alley haymaker and go, cool. My attack's now a 5/6 with stun 1. That if you block it, I get that attack back.
yeah.
It's that mental game of what are you more worried about? The attack here or that attack there?
Yeah, and this one's coming in for 8. So if you don't block it, I'm good. I'm really good with you taking 8.
Exactly. It's an absolute menace of a card because it's one of those like proper flexes onto your opponent of yeah, you can deal with this, but if you can't stop this attack, this is my next one.
Yeah,
And it's one of the things that a lot of players, when you're discarding to one with nature, when you discard to snack time, if they see orange, they instantly start to panic going, if you're discarding this, what's in your hand? And then
yeah.
with this attack, it's a case of, I'm discarding this, and it could also be back in my hand. Last one we'll cover today will be Rejuvenating Smash. 5 cost, 3 check, +1 mid block, a 4 mid for 6, EX3 Fury Punch. Response: after you play this card, if this is the second card you have played this turn, draw 2 cards and gain 2 health. Enhance: if you have discarded a card during this enhanced step, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. This is Deku 4's UR, and it's just it's just nuts.
It's bonkers.
It is a.
I mean, yes, it is effectively a 6 diff, right? But it's 6 diff, draw 2, gain 2 health.
Why? Oh yeah, 6 div because you've got to play in a second. But
yeah,
it's a 6. Yeah, essentially 6 div, draw 2, gain 2 health. EX3, so it's a minimum of a 7 mid for 8, 9, 10. This could do some serious damage very early.
Yeah, so in theory, you give it the powerful 4, right? Discard a card for powerful 4. Add the top card to your momentum, so it's 10. You then use that momentum to X3, so it's a 7 for 10. I've drawn 2 cards and gained 2 health catch. Also, that response works on blocks, right? So if it's the second block you make with a nice 1 mid, you can draw 2, gain 2 defensively, which again is very nice.
Exactly.
I can see it seeing a lot of play.
And it's on good,
very,
so
very good.
it's on good, so it still gets 1 with nature, so it can become a 7 mid for 15, that's +2 to your block mod on the second attack.
15? How are we making 15?
I mean, it depends on what character you're going to, but
Okay, just
yeah,
random number.
just random number. Like you can easily get this to double digits in terms of speed, in terms of what number you have to block against, as well as the amount of damage you're taking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. Like, just draw 2 cards is traditionally very good.
Yeah, I cannot see this. Feels like it's just a minimum of a 3 of in any deck that can run it.
And this is, again, it's also going to be a Sicko XR.
Yeah,
And also, I think one thing we missed on certainly this one, the previous one, the word Smash in the title. Does it share symbols with Smash Might? I'm assuming good at least.
Rewind Smash. Yep. These are all smashed. Yeah. So rejuvenating Smash and rewind Smash should, but they both got good, so they'll both be Smash Might available as well.
Mm.
Oh, we went on a lot longer than we did last time.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of cards to talk about.
There's even more to go through, which is absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I mean, obviously we'll maybe do this on Sunday if you're free.
Yeah, I should be able to do it Sunday, and we should hopefully have a few more to go through from there.
Just so we don't clash with the Page of Games webcam Tuesdays. Yeah. And yeah, we'll try and go through a lot more. We'll probably even more spoilers then, so we'll try and maybe rattle through it a bit quicker.
Hopefully, we'll have Kirishima 3 by that point, and we can all see how broken he is, because they've got to have the broken Trinity.
Man, they've got to make a bad Kirishima. I'm going to say Kirishima 3 is going to be bad. There we are.
I think if Jasko want to... I know Jasko won't do this, but if I was doing it, I would say Wednesday during the stream, or like Wednesday give it to the content creator and go, this is the Kirishima you're playing, and then tell us when you're doing it, so the day after we can immediately announce an errata. And that's how I do it, because that is playing into the joke of every Kirishima's broken.
Yeah, but no.
Just give it to content, go, can you please do this on Wednesday? So on Thursday, we can then go, okay, Kirishima 3 was spoiled yesterday, he's a bit too powered, so we've changed him to this, and just have an immediate errata the next day.
No. I mean, yes, it would be funny, but they're never going to do it.
No.
I'm going to say he's going to be bad. I'm going to say he's going to be fun, but he's going to be bad.
I don't think we've had a competitive character that uses counters yet.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the manly, passionate counter, whatever the hell it was.
Unless Tetsu 2 is coming, which is a funny name to do anyway. It's got to be Kirishima, and I think he's going to be 7-hander, possibly 19 health, and he's gonna feel like the Shoji muscular stuff. He's gonna be like, discard, remove 5 manly spirit counters, remove 5 counters from this character. This attack deals no damage or something like that. Because I think this is going to be a defensive Kirishima, because it's the unbreakable mode.
He's going to be gimmicky. He's going to be fun. He's going to be bad.
Yeah.
There we are. I'm calling it. But yeah, cool. We'll wrap up there then.
Yeah.
Thanks to those that joined us this evening. Obviously, we'll get this out on the old YouTubes and all that stuff. And then we'll catch up on Sunday to chat about the rest.